It's not by chance that you're viewing this video. There's a reason you're here. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the timing of your life and know that you're being led to where you're meant to be. As you stumble on this video, perhaps not by chance, it will serve to awaken your spirit. You've been walking in obedience, following divine instructions even when the outcome was hidden from you. You've surrendered when it was uncomfortable, trusted when logic couldn't explain it, and sacrificed in ways no one else even knew about. What you didn't realize is this: your obedience has been unlocking invisible vaults. You've been accumulating a kind of wealth the world can't measure, because it's not stored in currency, but in glory. This is bigger than finances. This is about favor that opens doors no man can shut, about peace that silences storms, clarity that illuminates your path, joy that strengthens you, divine access to places you never imagined, and an eternal inheritance that can't be stolen. You've been storing up treasures in the unseen, and now they're about to manifest in the seen. We're about to break this down into 7 powerful and revealing chapters. But before we dive in, like, share, and subscribe, because this is more than content. This is confirmation, a divine word for the faithful ones who have been walking by faith, not by sight. If your spirit already feels the weight of this truth, drop 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't just symbolic, it's a sacred code, a signal to heaven that you are aligned with divine instruction, positioned to receive, and ready for the kind of wealth money cannot buy. Not everyone will remain for this message. Only those who have obeyed even when it costs them dearly will have the capacity to receive what's coming next. If you stay, you will gain clarity, deeper understanding, and see the release of blessings that have been hidden in plain sight, awaiting your obedience to unlock them. This is not a one-time word. This is a living word. Return to it whenever your spirit needs to remember, because each time you listen, a new key will be placed in your hand. Another layer of divine strategy, another dimension of supernatural wealth, custom-coded for your calling. Now, with hearts open and spirits ready, let us begin this sacred journey into deeper understanding. Let's go. Chapter 1. Your yes in private is bringing a public reward. Chosen one, your obedience carries a frequency that heaven cannot ignore. It's not always wrapped in glory, and it rarely comes with applause. Most of the time, it's misunderstood by those looking from the outside. But in the unseen realm, your obedience thunders louder than any title, any position, and any performance. You have obeyed in secret places where only God was watching. You've made sacrifices no one applauded, yet your name was being spoken in the courts of heaven. You've passed tests that no one even knew you were taking. And here's the truth. Many of your breakthroughs didn't come because you fought harder. They came because you surrendered sooner. You said yes without waiting for a better option. You followed divine instructions even when the road ahead was foggy. You chose integrity when compromise looked easier. You chose purity when popularity beckoned. You chose alignment with God over agreement with people. Every hidden yes became a seed, and heaven has been watering those seeds in secret. Now the season has shifted. The roots have grown deep, and the fruit is about to break through the surface for all to see. Your private obedience is about to birth a public reward so undeniable that even your critics will have to admit, it could only have been God. That quiet yes behind closed doors, the one that made your soul tremble yet kept your spirit aligned, is now reverberating into a new realm of reward. Remember that season you almost compromised just to feel seen, but something deep within you refused? That was obedience. Remember the night you wept yourself to sleep after choosing the narrow road while everyone else seemed to flourish on the broad one? That was obedience. When you deleted the number, declined the opportunity, walked away from the job, turned down the invitation, or shut a door no one else even knew was open, simply because you heard God whisper, "Not this," that was obedience. And obedience, especially in the shadows, builds a kind of wealth the world cannot calculate. In secret, you have been building something sacred. Now heaven is ready to make it visible, not to inflate your ego, but to magnify His glory, not to make your name famous, but to establish your authority in the earth. This is the moment when God shows what He can do with a fully surrendered vessel. This is the season where quiet sacrifices erupt into loud blessings. The very people who questioned your stillness will now witness your sudden elevation. And this reward is not just financial, it's not just material, it's divine positioning that places you where no resume could. It's divine clarity that answers questions you didn't know to ask. It's divine access to rooms you didn't even knock on. It's divine favor that causes the impossible to bow. The kind of wealth you are about to walk in will make people wonder, how did they get there without striving? And the answer will echo through your life. God did it. You didn't manipulate systems. You moved by the Spirit. You didn't force the door. You followed the voice. You didn't rush the process. You honored the pruning. Now you will walk in a fullness that only God could orchestrate. So do not apologize for the shift that's about to take place. You paid for this in private tears. You stayed when you could have left. You stayed pure when compromise was convenient. And now heaven is declaring, it's time. You are being called higher, revealed stronger, and crowned with something no currency can purchase. The weight of divine trust. This is your reward season, chosen one. The doors are swinging open. The atmosphere is changing. Heaven is aligning over your life. And it's all because in the unseen moments when no one was watching, you whispered one word that changed everything. Yes. Chapter 2. What you planted in tears is blooming in power. Chosen one, this is the chapter where heaven completes its circle. This is the moment where your weeping turns into worship. Not because the pain never came, but because the pain finally produced something beautiful. You cried through it. You wrestled through it. You obeyed through it. And now you are beginning to see why God didn't allow you to skip the struggle. Every tear was more than an emotional release. It was a prophetic investment. Every lonely night, every silent battle, every moment you showed up empty yet still poured out. It was seed planted in sacred soil. At the time, you couldn't see how deep you were sowing because all you could feel was the ache. But now the ground is breaking open. The soil is pushing forth life. Heaven is answering your sacrifice. What you planted in heartbreak is returning in holy power. This kind of harvest doesn't just fill your hands, it fortifies your heart. It strengthens your posture. It gives you a spiritual backbone that no wind can bend. You're not just being rewarded with things, you're being entrusted with authority. That's the wealth no currency can measure. Anyone can hold a position, but not everyone can carry presence. And you, chosen one, now walk in a presence forged in suffering, purified by obedience, and anchored in unshakable faith. Your journey has trained your vision. That heartbreak gave you prophetic sight. You can now detect deception from a distance. That betrayal taught you to love with holy boundaries and pray with sharp precision. That season of silence trained your ear to recognize only the voice of God. This is why you no longer move off hype. You move off holiness. You no longer chase blessings. You carry them. You've become the blessing. God didn't just preserve you, He purified you. He didn't just bring you through the fire, He forged you in it. And now the version of you emerging is prophetic by design. You are becoming the kind of person who shifts atmospheres simply by walking into a room. A vessel that heaven can entrust with divine secrets. A presence that makes darkness tremble. Your tears watered the ground. Your faith broke the soil. And now your harvest is speaking for you. Here's a more potent and flowing rewrite of your text. Keeping the prophetic tone but sharpening the imagery, deepening the emotional resonance, and giving it a rhythm that feels like a divine proclamation. People may see the favor now, but they didn't witness the fasting. They see the power now, but they didn't endure the pruning. They see the influence, but they have no idea about the isolation it took to carry it. But God knows, and heaven keeps flawless records. This is why doors are swinging open. This is why your name is being spoken in rooms your feet have never stepped into. This is why you can feel the shift rumbling in your spirit, because the season of sowing is giving way to the season of reigning. And this elevation is not to feed your ego, but to fulfill your assignment. Not to raise your status, but to multiply your service. Because when God can trust you with tears, He can trust you with territory. You've proven that pain could not harden your heart. You've shown that delay could not drain your devotion. And now what you planted in secret is about to blossom in the open. This is your power bloom, chosen one. This is the moment where heaven confirms what hell tried to cancel. This is where the fragile becomes fierce. This is where the wounded becomes a weapon. This is where the crushed becomes crowned. And it all began with the tears you thought no one saw. Yet heaven collected every single one. Chapter 3. Divine instructions are opening supernatural doors. Chosen one. You didn't arrive here by accident. You arrived here by alignment. While others relied on formulas, hustle culture, and human networks, you tuned your ear to the whisper of God. You didn't chase the crowd's approval because you were trained in the quiet. You've learned that divine instruction is your greatest strategy, and now the results are about to speak louder than any explanation you could ever give. Every time you followed the holy nudge in your spirit, even when logic told you otherwise, you were stepping into a supernatural setup. That time you stopped your plan just to pray, that was a divine reroute. That moment you turned down a perfect opportunity because it didn't sit right in your spirit, that was divine discernment. The urge to forgive, to move, to release, to speak, or to remain silent. Those weren't random emotions. They were sacred signals, and you obeyed. God hasn't been testing your strength. He's been testing your ears, because in this next dimension, access won't be earned by effort alone. It will be unlocked by instruction, and you have passed the test. That's why the doors opening for you now can't be explained by credentials, connections, or qualifications. They are supernatural, conceived in heaven, manifested on earth. Some will try to study your favor and still be baffled. They will read your resume and scratch their heads. They will trace your background and still fail to explain how you walked into certain rooms. That's because God is not promoting you according to man's ranking system. He's positioning you according to obedience. You didn't climb a ladder, you followed a voice. And that voice is now elevating you into spaces no human hand can shut you out of. When people ask how you got here, you'll simply point upward, because the only explanation is Him. This is what happens when heaven begins to honor your alignment. Doors swing open without force, resources arrive without manipulation, and people show up without you having to beg, because your obedience has activated divine coordination. God is placing your name on the hearts of individuals you have never met and orchestrating connections your intellect could never have engineered. And here's the astonishing part. These doors will not look like what you expected. Some will appear too big, yet they are yours. Some will seem out of place, yet they fit your destiny with perfect precision. That's the signature of the supernatural. If it made sense, it would be man. But because it feels too divine to be logical, you can be certain it is God. You are no longer hustling, you are heeding. You are no longer chasing, you are attracting. You have discovered that obedience is the highest form of spiritual currency. While others exhaust themselves trying to force their way through, you are watching doors open by grace. That is not arrogance, it is alignment. Understand this. God does not speak instructions to waste your time. Every word He gives is a seed, and you have been planting those seeds in faith, sometimes with trembling hands. Now those planted words are manifesting as divine doors, sacred connections, and supernatural access points. This is why you were told to be still when you wanted to run. This is why you had to move when you felt unprepared. This is why you had to remain when everything in you screamed to go. This is why you had to walk away when it looked like the perfect setup. God was shaping your obedience so it could become the master key. So do not second guess what is unfolding now. The shift is real, the access is divine, the doors are opening because your spirit said yes before your mind could calculate the cost. This is your reward for listening when no one else could understand the point. Heaven is moving. Align with it. Step boldly through every door. You were built for this. Chapter 4. Your character is carrying weight in the spirit realm. Chosen one, the most valuable currency in the kingdom is not gold, status, or applause. It is character. And yours has been forged in silence, refined in suffering, and strengthened in solitude. You were not merely built in public, you were broken in private. Yet through it all, you kept your heart pure. That is why the spirit realm recognizes your name long before the earth does. Heaven does not measure worth by what you possess. It measures it by who you have become. Your character is your weapon. Your purity is your shield. Your humility is your crown. These are the virtues that caused angels to stand guard over you when people turned their backs on you. While others manipulated systems and chased platforms, you chose the narrow road. You didn't settle for what was convenient. You pursued what was consecrated. That kind of obedience reverberates in the supernatural realm. You have passed tests most will never know existed. You chose silence when you could have exposed. You chose truth when deception would have advanced you. You chose loyalty when betrayal could have benefited you. You stayed faithful when quitting would have been easier. That is not weakness. It is spiritual wealth. And heaven has stamped you as trustworthy. In the unseen realm, demons do not tremble at titles, followers, or finances. They tremble at integrity. They bow to authority forged in sacrifice. They recognize the ones with clean hands and a pure heart. That is why some doors now open for you without credentials, because your spirit cleared the room before your body ever stepped inside. You no longer need to announce yourself. Your integrity announces you. Your character has built a legacy no amount of money could manufacture. You have been doing the inner work when no one was applauding, growing roots in secret while others were busy building platforms in public, and now the fruit is undeniable. People are beginning to notice something different about you, and it's not charm, it's consecration. This kind of weight in the spirit doesn't come from being known. It comes from being faithful. Because you have been faithful with little, God is now ready to trust you with much. Not only material resources, but influence, authority, and assignments that will shift atmospheres and impact generations. Understand this: the spirit realm respects discipline, honors submission, and responds to consistency. Every time you forgave when it hurt, stayed silent when you could have defended yourself, humbled yourself when pride called your name, chose holiness over hype, stillness over striving, and honor over ego, you were adding weight to your name in the realms that matter most. You do not need to market yourself. Heaven has already marked you. And now your reward is coming, not merely for what you've done, but for who you've become in the process. God is about to surround you with doors of opportunity, circles of favor, and layers of protection that your character has earned access to. You will be entrusted with divine assignments because you have proven you can be trusted with divine truth. So do not despise the seasons where no one noticed you. Those were your training grounds. Do not regret the rooms you were excluded from. God was preserving your oil. Do not mourn the relationships that fell apart. They could not carry the weight of your destiny. You were not being punished, you were being prepared. And now, because of who you are when no one is watching, heaven is moving on your behalf when everyone is. This is the power of spiritual credibility. This is the reward of unwavering character. This is why your name will carry legacy-level weight, reverberating not just in your lifetime, but for generations to come. Chapter 5. You're being trusted with revelation that shifts atmospheres. Chosen one, the greatest treasure heaven can entrust to you is not gold, not status, not applause. It is revelation, not mere information, not head knowledge that can be memorized and repeated, but divine insight, truth revealed by the Spirit that transforms how you see, move, speak, and lead. Revelation is what separates the called from the chosen, and you have been marked for wisdom that goes beyond the surface, beyond trends, beyond human reasoning. You've been given understanding that shifts not only your immediate environment, but the entire atmosphere around you. This is why you cannot always explain your next step. It wasn't birthed in logic, it was born in the Spirit. While others wait for patterns to emerge or for the approval of the crowd, you move at the whisper of the Holy Spirit. You're not just making decisions, you're receiving downloads. You're not reacting to circumstances. You're responding to what has already been revealed to your spirit. This is why you've often felt ahead of your time. You see what others overlook. You feel what others ignore. You discern what others dismiss. And because of this divine sensitivity, your life has become more than a personal journey. It is becoming a prophetic blueprint. God is shaping you into a voice, not just a vessel. He is trusting you with mysteries that are not revealed to everyone. Why? Because you have proven you will not misuse what is sacred. You don't seek revelation to boast. You carry it with reverence. You don't wield insight to control. You use it to cover and to protect. And so, heaven keeps speaking. The mysteries keep unfolding. Discernment has become your superpower. You are not just walking in revelation, you are stewarding it. And in the days to come, that revelation will not only shift rooms, it will shift destinies. This is why isolation has marked so many seasons of your life, because revelation demands separation. God had to silence the clamor of the world so you could hear the whisper of eternity. You were never being punished, you were being positioned. And now, because you remained obedient in those hidden and silent seasons, you are about to be recognized not merely as gifted, but as wise. You will not simply enter rooms, you will transform them. You will not merely sit in meetings, your presence will realign the agenda. For revelation has the power to shift the very atmosphere it touches. You carry insight that will unlock solutions no one else could see, birth innovations that redefine possibilities, calm storms that others feared would destroy, and break cycles that have held people captive for generations. People may not have the words to explain it, but they will feel it. Something undeniable changes when you walk into the room. This is a form of wealth no system can tax, no thief can steal, and no power can diminish. It is the wealth of carrying the very mind of heaven within an earthly vessel. It is the wealth of divine strategy, perfect timing, and supernatural alignment. This is why you will be chosen for assignments you never applied for, invited into spaces where your resume holds no human qualification. You will not have to force your way in. Revelation itself will open the doors before you. And here is the deeper mystery. God is not entrusting you with insight for your own sake alone, but for the liberation, protection, and building of others. Your clarity will break chains. Your discernment will prevent disasters before they can manifest. Your wisdom will construct what is destined to stand the test of time. You are becoming a living well of living water, and people will come to draw not from your personality, but from your purity, your depth, and your divine direction. This is the season where your insight will become your influence. Therefore, guard it fiercely, nurture it diligently. Refuse to downplay it to make others comfortable. Revelation is both your crown and your commission, and the more faithfully you steward what heaven whispers in secret, the more powerfully your life will declare it in public. Chapter 6. Your obedience is attracting heaven's partnerships. Chosen one, your obedience has been sending ripples through realms unseen, stirring movements in the spirit that human eyes cannot trace. While others have been busy impressing crowds, you have been intent on pleasing God. While they were exchanging business cards, you were exchanging burdens in prayer. While they chased platforms, you chased His presence. And now heaven is answering your private devotion with public alliances, partnerships not born of striving, but birthed by divine assignment. Heaven does not partner with performance, it partners with obedience. And you have proven time and again that you can be trusted. You did not wait for the applause before you surrendered your yes. You said yes in the silence. You said yes when the ending was hidden from you. You obeyed when it cost you relationships, emptied your accounts, stripped your status, and dismantled your certainty. That kind of obedience shakes the heavens. Angels have walked beside you in seasons when you didn't even know they were there, shielding you from unseen assaults, covering you in battles too great for flesh, carrying your tears as sacred offerings before the throne. And now their presence is increasing. What is ahead of you is too vast for you to enter alone. So the Father is surrounding you with partnerships, divine, strategic, and sealed by heaven's authority. These are not casual acquaintances. They are kingdom connections, destiny appointments written into your scroll before you took your first breath. Even now, God is stirring hearts, awakening dreams, and quickening spirits to seek you out, to cover you in prayer, to stand at your side, to build with you, to invest in you, and to guard what God is birthing through you. You will not have to scheme for it. You will not have to chase it. They are as much on divine assignment as you are. And here is the beauty. These are not leeches who come to drain you. They are lifters who come to strengthen you. They are not consumers. They are contributors. They are givers, not takers. Builders, not breakers. Kingdom allies who will hold up your arms when they grow weary, guard your back in battle, and celebrate your victories without envy. You have poured out with little return. But now the season has shifted. Heaven is sending you reinforcements. They will not be drawn to the polish of your image, but to the purity of your obedience. They will not gather because of your name's noise, but because of your name's weight in the Spirit. They will see your oil pressed from seasons of crushing. They will sense the fragrance of your purity preserved in the fires of testing. They will honor the call on your life, not the crowd surrounding it. This is how heaven measures reward. Faithfulness in the secret place always manifests as favor in the open. The divine partnerships that are coming to you will not be based on what they can take, but on what heaven has commanded them to give. They will not be transactional, they will be transformational. The synergy will be supernatural. Your obedience has created a magnetic pull in the unseen realm, drawing to you those who are ordained to walk with you into your next season. This is why God first had to subtract before he could add. The removal was not rejection, it was divine realignment. You may have felt abandoned, overlooked, or painfully misunderstood, but God was making room for what was coming. Not everyone can journey with you into the place he is taking you. The next dimension demands alignment, not mere attachment. And because you passed the test of release, choosing surrender over clinging, you are now about to taste what it means to be divinely surrounded. Some of these heaven-sent partnerships will come as mentors, speaking life into your calling and sharpening your discernment. Others will be intercessors, quietly warring for you in the night hours when you are too weary to fight. Some will be investors, believing in what God placed inside you before there is any physical proof of its completion, and others will be true co-laborers, walking beside you hand in hand to build something eternal. But all will carry the same evidence. They are proof that heaven responds to obedience. This is the kind of favor that hunts you down without you chasing it, the kind of help that arrives without hidden agendas, the kind of support that does not require you to share your spotlight. These relationships are not born out of advantage. They are born out of assignment. And when heaven sends them, they will fit so perfectly into the puzzle of your destiny that you will know. This was never the work of man, but the movement of God. Chapter 7. Your obedience is drawing heaven's alignments. Chosen one, the world may reward charisma, visibility, and self-promotion, but heaven places its highest honor on obedience. While others strained for the spotlight, you sought the secret place. While they fought to be seen, you fought to remain aligned. You followed the quiet whispers of the Holy Spirit when no applause followed. You turned away from opportunities that glittered, but were not rooted in God's will. You walked away from familiar roads, even when it cost you comfort, simply to remain in His presence. That kind of obedience carries undeniable weight in the realm of the Spirit. And now heaven is responding. God is assigning people to your life, not out of convenience, but through covenant. These are not fleeting, surface-level connections. They are divine alignments, forged in the fires of obedience, sealed with trust, and anchored in sacred assignment. Even now, hearts are being stirred, spirits are being awakened, and hands are being prepared to bless you, intercede for you, and steward what God has planted in you. They will come without hidden motives, without manipulation, without conditions. They will not be drawn to your platform, but to your purity. They will not be captivated by your image, but by your integrity. They will recognize your spirit before they even learn your name. They will be drawn to your peace in a restless world, to your holiness in a compromising age, and to your purpose in a time when many have lost theirs. These are heaven-sent allies assigned not just to walk beside you, but to help carry the weight of what God has placed on you. Some will finance the very vision God placed in your spirit. Some will open doors you could never have forced open yourself. Some will quietly stand in the gap, covering you in prayer when no one else even knows there's a battle. But every single one of them has been sent, not because you pleaded for their help, but because heaven heard the sound of your obedience and responded. You are not out here networking. You are being divinely connected. You are not pitching your worth. You are being sovereignly positioned. This is the reward of alignment. This is the inheritance reserved for the obedient. Heaven is partnering with you through people you never anticipated, people you may not have even thought to pray for. Yet they arrive carrying keys, resources, wisdom, and perfect timing. These are not random relationships. They are God-ordained reinforcements, sent to stand with you in purpose. So when the right people suddenly appear, don't be shocked. When you find yourself surrounded by those who discern your calling without you uttering a single explanation, don't question it. Your quiet obedience has been speaking in realms louder than any public striving could ever reach. This is kingdom economy in full motion, and your life is living proof that heaven rewards the faithful. If you're eager for more, whether additional chapters to this spiritual journey or a powerful visual concept for a video or thumbnail, simply just say the word, "I'm here and am ready to help bring it all to life." Thank you for watching. Before you go, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe if this video has inspired or intrigued you.